Okay, so for the last session, we have started with the initialization. Okay, initialization with respect to V86. Now, V86, as when we are going to have the structure. Okay, so will be referred this, okay, as in the form of partly as a part of your 8086 base core programs, okay, or instructions that will be having. It will be having with the mm, basic or real mode, that you can say it as that, which will be referred when you are going to have the functionalities which will be used under 8086 real mode. Okay. And when you are going to have a processor which will be entering in the virtual mode, okay, so it will be having with the few 8086 programming features. And when you are going to move to protected mode, it will be again having with the monitoring features of 8036. Okay, so there will be a slight change with a few instructions and functionalities. Okay, so we are going to see with these instructions also. Okay. When we are going to end it with this. Then after that, we have seen with this part related with the when we are going to have the virtual mode 8086 programs. Okay, so it will be having a V86 monitoring. Okay, and it will be having a different uh, functionalities that it can be having with respect to privileges, protection privileges, because this monitoring of 80386, when you are expected in a protected mode, it will be executing with the privileges 0, right? So it will be having the two appropriate privileges that can be provided. You can just mute yourself, those who are joining late. Okay. So what it is expected when you are the entering it into a V86, we'll be having with the functionalities or core programming that we can make a change, that is with the respect to privileges 0 for that environment, which will be having a primary initialization or some exception handling procedures. Whereas with respect to changes that we are going to have, it is executable segments, which you are going to mention it in the GDT, okay, or in the LDT. It is expected with the getting a appropriate mapping. If it is required, we need to make a changes, and it is expected that we need to maintain these some exceptions if that may occur in the program. Okay, so during this switching with the help of IDT or get descriptor. Okay, so that get descriptor, it will be additionally will refer it for both protection privileges when we are going to have, and also for these with respect to switching. Okay, so TSS components that we have seen. So there we are considering that as a third aspect, which will be as compared to registers. These gate descriptors will maintain a information about interrupts. Okay, so these also will be taken into part, or that will be considered when you are going to entering it into virtual mode. Okay. Still having with the two options when you are going to have with this. Okay, so we have discussed this part. So this quickly will go through this. One more aspect related with this paging for it, how it will be used. Right. So as I told, when you are going to have with the different uh, page tables or page frames that will be referring, and you are going to refer for a physical address or physical location after mapping, or after let's say I need to have the switching it from one segment to another segment. So it is expected that we need to get these updated values. Okay, so which might be having with some extended space. Okay, so when you are going to refer with the example related with the virtual box, okay, so which I have given. So for that we are utilizing the existing space from your root directory. Okay, so from, if I'm considering as your base operating system as your Windows, and for the other, if you are referring it as in the form of let's say as in the form of other operating systems which we are having or which we are running it through virtual environment. So there we are going to have with the features that will be sharing these resources, and there we might be getting some extra space as in the form of virtual environment. Okay, so which will be expected as having some change in the limit field. Okay, so in the descriptor, generally these records it will be maintained when we are moving it. Okay, and depending also on the B bit, okay, of type field. Right, in the descriptor we have seen that is related with the type field B. We can say that whether it is allowed for switching or not, and depending on that we can say that whatever the address translation that we are going to achieve, it will be applicable. Okay, or mapping that we are going to have for getting appropriate physical address, we are able to get a appropriate address there. Okay, so example as here we have given with this, so where we'll be having with the selector value, offset value, right, and which will be getting your effective address. Now when you are going to get it with the real mode, okay, so what address space that you will be able to get. When you are going to have with the protected mode, what changes it will be done, right? So this, it will be a generally what you can say it as example with which we can able to get from logical address to physical address. Okay, so with respect to protection and with respect to multitasking. Okay, so if it will be having changes in it, so ultimately what output that you are able to get, that is if I'm considering this as a selector that will provide you a actual value that you are able to get. Okay, and ultimately at the end what physical address that you are able to get, that will be in the hexadecimal form, right? So there will be not having a what you can say it as appropriate change in the different types of data, hexadecimal values that output you are able to get, but having with some changed size. Okay, so with respect to limit field, it will be having with the changed or extended physical address, right? So when you are supposed to get with this change in a mode, definitely there will be a change in a space, okay, address space that you are able to get. And so this we have discussed related with the different peripherals that you are going to communicate with the help of when your processor it is will be in the virtual environment. So we are able to get with some as like let's say example, if I consider it as for virtual environment, that means what, accessing some peripherals through virtual environment. That means what your what is expected with your real mode. Okay, when you are connecting with the different peripherals, so pin diagram, okay, so which we have seen, so where we'll be having the functionalities or the pin structure that will be having with the different functionalities as compared to change in a virtual mode. Okay, not with respect to space, additional space, but a large space, but with respect to access for these peripherals. Okay, because it is expected that when you are moving it to a virtual mode with the peripherals, if it is need to be okay, peripherals in the sense of what, that is for different memory address location, right? If I need to get an access for this, it will be expected not need to compromise any protection privileges. Okay, so or definitely it is maintaining if having with the higher access privileges, not with the application level. Right, so it might be having with the change due to applications. It should not change with the core privileges which will be given at the start. Okay, so at the start means what? At the time of initialization. Okay, so when you are moving it or when you are entering it to virtual mode, right? Okay, so it will be having with the these few bits that we need to have. We need to reflect these changes where we will be having with the uh, user or supervised uh, section that we are able to get here when we are entering it to a virtual mode. Okay, that is either it is from real to protected or protected to virtual. So this it will be some descriptive part. Okay, so this it will be a part which we have seen already with the previous session. So now what it is expected that when you are entering it as like when you are initializing the processor, we need to get with the specific registers that we need to identify which will be having with the changes. Like that, when the processor it will be in the x86 mode, your CPL value it will be 3. Okay, so 3 means what it is expected it as lower privileges if it is having depending on the CPL bit. So it will be having only user privileges. Okay, so it will be having with the page of a virtual machine which will be monitoring these with the supervisor level. So it will be not giving an access for 8086 functionalities. Right, so when it will be in the protected mode, then able to get with the more functionalities as compared to virtual environment, okay, or virtual mode. Right, so how we are going to enter and leave in for this, because then we are going to see it for uh, V86 in a real mode, V86 or 80386 in a protected mode, okay, because V86 is specifically mentioned when you are entering it into a virtual environment. Okay, so it will be having the different functionalities as compared to protect. Okay. See what we do. So we'll continue with this in the next part. Okay, that is entering and leaving it to V86 mode. So we'll be having with this block diagram that will be giving you an idea for how we are going to enter and leave from 8086, that is virtual mode to real mode. Okay, so generally it will be having with the expected that when you are having with the starting part for that is the initial entry, you can say it as, or initialization before switching. Okay, so that it will be having with the initial stages that you can able to get it from initial entry point, right? So just I will for this. So it will be a initial entry point where we'll be having with the due to task switching, due to mapping, okay, or because of instruction flow that we'll be having, we need to make a task switching, or we'll be having with the specific instruction because of which we can able to perform with the task switching. Okay, so what is expected that we need to uh, get these as a part of your flow, right? So when you are entering it for this, so it will be due to this reason we entered it to B86 mode. If it is done with the interrupts, okay, or due to some interrupts or exceptions, then it will be entered into a identify V86 monitor. Okay, it will be in the virtual environment only, but with the monitoring mode, or we can say it as protected mode also, which will be identifying that what kind of exception it is, whether it is able to handle that mechanism, interrupt handling mechanism, or whether we are having a code. Okay, what we mean by handling means what? We need to have an alternative code with which we can process or we can generate some messages, or we need to have it some alternative processing for this with which we can get a appropriate output. Either it is in the form of messages or in the form of some actions. What is expected with this? If it has been resolved for it, it will be given it with a, if it is solved with that message. Otherwise, if it has been done with the, we need to perform it to for mapping, it will be entered with that task switching. It will be done to a different segment. Okay, whether it is having with the appropriate access privileges, and here if you can observe, it will be having a other 80386 task. Means what? It will be expected that it is done with the monitoring. It has been identified whether it is having with access privileges, then it is moving to a 80386 protected mode. Okay, so this is virtual monitoring mode. We can say it as, we cannot refer it directly a protected mode to this. Now here what it will do, it will perform with the task switching, get with the work done, and get with the actual physical address for this also. That means what? It is entering. So why it is given with the name as entering and leaving 8086 program. That means what? As per the program flow, okay, which we will be having. So there we need to get a appropriate environment with which we can perform functionalities either with respect to basic 386 mode or with respect to generalized or real mode 8086. So both it will be changes with its functionalities when you are entering and when you are leaving it from the virtual mode. Okay. So what changes it will be having? It is not audible. Okay, so you can put the things in the chat box. Okay, so it is having with some unstable connection. Right. Now what it is expected with this, it will be having with the processor which will be entering it into a 86 mode because of two reasons as we have discussed. Right. So in the diagram also on the label of the arrows that you can able to have, that is either the task switching it to an 80386 task, loaded it in the form of mapping, right? So or it will be a part of your instruction. Okay, or we need to maintain these in the form of new TSS, right? So as you can observe, you can seen already that when we are doing the multitasking or task switching, we need to generate a different TSS at different switch. So these TSS will maintain these values, okay, as in the form of registers, but it will be storing these values, which will be maintaining it in the form of VM flag. Okay. So virtual mode flag also it will be maintaining the value as a part of your TSS. That is the one reason, okay, or that is the one factor with which we need to enter it for V86 mode. Another reason is due to instruction, as like because of with few instructions as like uh, generating an exceptions, interrupts, right? So divided by 0, then it might be having file not found. So this it will be a different possibilities with because of which also we need to enter it to V86 mode, whether it is identifying or whether it is making the changes which has been loaded in a stack registers also. Okay, so what does it mean? It will be indicating the second condition, that is we might be identified with some interrupts, exceptions, and because of which need to process that which will be either if it is been done with just displaying and message. Okay, now it will be having with the expectation with respect to the protection privileges which will be provided. Let's say it will be having with the 0th level of protection privilege, that is a kernel level protection privilege. Definitely it will be having with some alternative code that may occur or that may run, that will resolve with the whatever the current exceptions or interrupts that has been occurred. Otherwise it will be expected that it need to generate with the error messages, or that exception handling mechanism, it has been not able to perform the task or not able to get with the task to be done, then it will be again returned back to its original flow. Okay, that means what, wherever it has been ended, it will be come back to its original flow. It should not terminate your program abruptly, so that whatever the tasks which are okay, so because as we are saying it as it is not that a task of only one switching, but it will be having a number of switches or multitasking operations that may involve task linkage that we are referring. We need to get the control of these, or we need to get maintain these backlink so that your program will end it, or it will be come back to its original flow. Right, so that care also we have to take when we are going to entering or leaving it to virtual mode. Now, when you are going to have the processor which will be leaving it x86 mode, okay, so we are x86 when it is having it as an interrupt or exception. Okay, so now it is the issue, right? So that is the one part of the diagram we can see it as we have seen. Another part, when it is entered due to interrupts and exception. So interrupts or exceptions that may cause task switching, which will be from x86 to any other task. It will be maintaining with the values of E flag. If it will be generating with the new TSS with the VM bit, which will be maintained it with the E flag is initially, which will be set it to 0. Another condition is when you are able to get interrupts or exceptions with the privilege level 0, the procedure processor will store the current value, whatever the which is after reset, that it will be expected or that will be given it, which will be maintained. And with respect to protection privilege, whether we need to have a execution of the current task which is running is need to be handled, or it has been done execution of that alternative code. Okay, so the second condition, what does it satisfies? It will be identifies that it will be it has been done with the properly execution of it, and it will be getting it with the new task need to be done after. Okay, or the next linkage with which we can perform the task. Right. So generally it will be expected that when we are going to have this VM bit or the flag, which will be directly manipulated, or it will be changed with this state, okay, with respect to E flag. So it will be maintained as a part of your TSS. Okay, now if it will be system level operation, then definitely it will be not having with the appropriate privileges to change with this. We can just get the existing value. We cannot make a modification in that case if it is having with the static part, whereas in the dynamic part, where we'll be having with some general purpose registers will maintaining these values. So in that case, we can allow to make a changes. Okay, or we are supposed to get with these all changes which are there in the register, which will be carried forward. Okay, with respect to performing the task properly. Otherwise, it will be generating an exception error message and terminate the program. Right? So these all it will be expected when you are going to have the multiple tasks that we'll be having. Okay, so that we are referring it as in the form of transitions through task switching. Okay, so task switching it to or from v86, that is entering and leaving, maybe due to any of the three possibility conditions. Okay, so the initially which we are seeing, that is two reasons because of which we might be entering and leaving it to v86 mode. Now these are the three reasons or three causes: the interrupts, that vector term that will be having with the task state, or it will be some action due to which we need to perform with the task with respect to task switching. Okay, and we are getting in related with the v86 mode again expected, or generally if it will be having with the it is disconnected, we can rejoin with the same name. Sorry. Okay, so related with the interrupts and exception, when we are expecting it as nested task, then that flag need to be set and similarly it will be continued. So about to this any three possibilities, either it is due to task get registers or interrupts, or which will be scheduled operations, which will be or actions which will be scheduled by operating system, or okay, operations. Now example that I will give to you, if we compare it with your regular system, in general system, what it will be having. So interrupt that we need to have with the change with the values for task date. Let's say if I need to have with the any file, that if I need to get it copied from one drive to another file, and when doing this displacement, if it is in use, right? Let's say if I'm copying one folder from one drive to another file, that is one operation. Okay, so that is moving of one file to another file, and in that if it is in use, that is then generate an interrupt, that is we are unable to perform, or processor will show you a message it is unable to perform the task. So what does it mean? That it is displaying the message, right? So from that message you need to identify either you can uh, cancel that copying task. Okay, that means excluding that file, we can get other things need to be done, or else we can close that file which is in use currently, which is in use. If we'll close that, definitely it will be change its location. Another related with the operating system task, that we can say it as related with the scheduler. That means what, after some duration of time, if you are not updating your system, right, if it will be not turned on, it will be showing a different messages that your system is not updated with the current whatever the updates which are available. It may cause an interrupts or exception for few programs, right? So it will be not giving you a what you can say it as complete denial of accessing, but it will be not giving you or it will be providing an intimation that it may lead to get some issues if it is not updated. That is a scheduler with respect to operating system or actions which will be decided. And last is due to some instructions that may occur in the program, and due to which we are supposed to get with the NT, that is nested task has been set. What does it mean? That it will be expected need to perform this, and then only you need to get with the next task. So all the tasks which are there need to be completed, and we need to get the output from this. Okay, if it is completed with the complete task linkage, okay, means it has been properly ended with all the tasks and it is ending with it. So what does it mean that? So these three possibilities, what it will decide is you, or what it will give you the information that through this we can get a transition through task switching, and ultimately which is expected that these values will be maintained with the help of entering and leaving it to a virtual mode. Because we are saying it as mainly it will be done with the help of, or because of two reasons, either it is due to instructions or due to some interrupts and exceptions, right? So these it will determines whether whatever the values that we are going to generate in a new TSS. Okay, why I'm correlating this with multitasking? Because ultimately after each task switch, we need to get a new TSS. New TSS will maintain this all information about interrupts and exceptions if it is occurring. And if it is there in a virtual mode, then it will need to be maintain these values as in the form of VM flag. Okay, virtual environment, whether it is satisfying the segments registers it will be accessing or not, right? Another part related with this is transition through trap gates and interrupt gate. So generally this interrupt gate or trap gate, it will be decides your actual working ability of overall x86 mode, or when your it will be processor will be leaving for this x86 mode as a result of this exception or interrupts, it will be identified or it will be maintained these values in the form of interrupt descriptor table. Okay, with respect to again different privileges. Okay, so the exceptions or interrupts which are handled or which has been successfully run, or we have found that it will be expected to get with alternative code that will be generate your final output, as this record has been completed either in the form of by maintaining interrupts or exceptions, or whatever the current task has been allocated. Okay, so this it will be a scenario where we'll be having with the overall functionalities of these 80386 with the virtual mode with respect to first uh, task switching, and next it is related with the gate descriptor. Okay, or now here will be it as an interrupt gate. Okay. Generally, it is expected that for all kind of exception and interrupts that may occur in a x86 mode, the processor will maintain these values in the form of IDT, interrupt descriptor table, and it will be uh, expected need to resolve these exceptions or errors, or it need to have the alternative mechanism with which it need to be maintain these privileges, right? So hope it is able to get with these two possibilities. It is having some issue with the connection. Okay. Now this it will be a two possibilities that may occur, or two conditions because of which we might be able to we can say that it will be performing the task. Now, there will be a few more interrupt handling mechanisms or exception handling mechanisms that need to be understood. Right, so here we'll be not doing it with actual programs, but it will be having with a few instructions with which we can able to get with this interrupt handling mechanism. Okay, so which will be either system level or user level. Now, there will be having with the different alternatives or code which will be involved to work with these interrupts and exceptions. So it will be stores the first part, that is it will be expecting with the interrupt vector, which will be locating with appropriate handlers or procedures. Another we can have with the different privilege levels through which we can maintain this. And so these are the general, we can say it as ways through which we can have these protection privileges will be maintained, which will be not, we can say it as compromising these protections during switching.